Good afternoon. On Monday, October 14th, I had the opportunity to spend a day shadowing TD Auto Finance Executive Vice President Ann Klein. During her 25 years with Chrysler Financial and TD Auto Finance, Ann has held a number of diverse positions. She currently serves as the head of U.S. sales for West and commercial accounts, a position she accepted in June of 2019. Ann works out of the TD Auto Finance headquarters located in Farmington Hills, Michigan, but she travels frequently. In 2019, American Banker recognized Ann as one of the most powerful women in banking. Early in the day, Ann took some time to share her past positions and the path that her career took to where she is now. She explained the value of lateral moves in her career and also how taking a step back at times helped prepare her for future roles. She mentioned that she has relocated no less than 11 times, with Grand Rapids, Michigan being her favorite place to live. Ann is a very personable and engaging leader. Throughout the day, I witnessed many examples of the strength of her personality and how she utilizes her natural talents to achieve success. Role as the head of sales. Ann oversees the entire retail sales team for all states west of Pennsylvania. This team is comprised of regional sales leaders, dealer relations managers, inside sales, and dealer services, about 60 people in all. While we were discussing the hierarchy and organization, Ann explained one of the greatest challenges she has encountered since accepting her current position lies in managing a very large and diverse team that operate completely remotely. I asked Ann to elaborate on those challenges. She said, in a large organization with a complex and ever-changing product offering, communication is vital. I have to trust that my regional sales leaders are relaying information to their teams in a timely and accurate manner. To ensure reliability of these communications, Ann hosts weekly calls with her direct reports. During these calls, she goes around the table and has each leader provide an update on their current issues. Also during these calls, Ann provides updates on product offerings, home office initiatives, and she keeps her direct reports apprised of expectations. A challenge Ann elaborated on was centered around market differentiation. Something might succeed in one market, but will fail in another. When I asked Ann her opinion on why markets perform so differently, she spoke at length about the differences between states in the Midwest versus the West Coast. For example, she said, in Ohio, Michigan, and Indiana, competition consists of local credit unions and captive finance sources, such as GM Financial. She stated that this is due in large part to the great number of OEM employees that live and work in these states. Entering those markets as a non-captive finance alternative has proven very challenging. She has devoted considerable time and energy the past few months to developing a strategy to improve efficiencies and to gain market share in the Midwest. 5 dealer relation managers in the Midwest were laid off in the past year. The accounts they managed have been moved to inside sales. In states like California, Arizona, and Texas, on the other hand, the market is motivated solely by rate and service. Competition plays on an even playing field with far less consumer loyalty. TD Bank and TD Auto Finance expect employees to embody very specific commitments in their daily work life. Ann explained the importance of these shared commitments to her personally and how she fosters them amongst her team. Every person, especially leaders in the organization, have a responsibility to live our shared commitments. If we all do this, success will follow. It can be difficult to ensure that my team is living them when they're so far away. To keep reminders in front of them, I will often ask them which shared commitment covers whatever they're working on or whatever challenges they are facing. I asked Ann about developing strategies and the tools that she utilizes. I explained that I had recently been studying the use of SWOT analysis and wondered how often such tools were used in the course of her normal business. Ann actually became very animated on this topic. She explained that while formal SWOT analysis was not something she really did often, she constantly reviews market climates in more informal ways. The executive leaders are expected to be able to identify all elements of a SWOT at any time. They live and breathe TD Auto Finance strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats in daily meetings and discussions. Field visits are one way Ann keeps a finger on the pulse of the market. Spending time with customers and employees in the field allows her to incorporate real-time feedback on what TD Auto Finance is doing well, what they could be doing better, and what the competition is doing. Ann explains that opportunities for new business are everywhere. Capitalizing on these opportunities is vital to growth. One of the key strategic initiatives she is developing involves capturing opportunities through real-time lane changes. She's attempting to build a more agile response mechanism that will ensure dealer satisfaction with all programs and services. At a functional level, she has implemented the strategy through a dealer callback process, where analysts and dealer relations managers will call their dealer within 8 minutes of application submission. I inquired how success of these initiatives was measured and how information was captured to continue to evolve the strategy. Calls are recorded and monitored through a quality assurance team. Each call is scored based on the employee's ability to capture the business. Implementing timely and responsive revisions to processes and program guidelines is done based on the scores that are compiled and overall results with a true take rate of new business. The first official order of business on that Monday morning was a team call that Ann led with her regional sales leaders. I was able to listen in on the call, making notes. Immediately, Ann announced organizational changes that were taking place. She explained to her team that the restructure is designed to improve cross-team communication by removing silos that were inhibiting the development of new processes. The product and pricing team was being absorbed into the operations division under a single leader. Unfortunately, this change resulted in the loss of 5 positions. Based on the questions and answers I heard, it was very clear that the change was primarily designed to reduce headcount, but the leadership team was promoted it as being a positive move. Account management strategies were very clear during this call. Regional sales leaders discussed a recent strategic initiative to limit sales activity at accounts where business had been soft. This pilot strategy was in its 3rd month of testing, and updates were being provided by the leaders. In an effort to maximize efficiencies among the sales team, they had been instructed that no in-person visits were to be performed at about half of their active accounts. Instead, these accounts were to be managed via email and text. At the start of the pilot program, DRMs had been provided the list of no-visit accounts and instructed to contact them all electronically, promoting the use of the new Dealer Hub, which is an online portal where dealers are able to self-manage their business. At the time of this update, it was becoming clear to leaders that there's really no loss in business with these underperforming accounts. The general consensus was that having a DRM visit them had no impact on the amount of business they originated. Evolution of the Dealer Hub was a natural progression to these updates. Leaders began reporting a slight increase in utilization of this online tool, but felt that there was still much work to be done. In order for a dealer and customer to successfully utilize the tool, a system administrator had to be appointed at each dealer. With over 7,000 active dealers in the U.S., the setup and training of these administrators was taking far longer than anticipated. Ann challenged her team to increase utilization by 10% in the next 30 days. She spoke of the cost savings and productivity increases that were being achieved by dealers self-managing their portfolios. TD Auto Finance on its community involvement. On this call, a brief update was provided regarding the TD Volunteer Network. One of the regional sales leaders had been a longtime chair of the Community Outreach Program, but had decided to relinquish the role to another. The incoming chair presented their vision for the evolution of the community programs, which included an employee challenge. Leaders would challenge employees to submit a minimum of 16 volunteer hours to the online system, no less than twice a year. The new chair also discussed corporate partnership opportunities with organizations such as the United Way. An annual giving campaign was in the works, and details would be provided within the coming months. Overall, the structure at TD Auto Finance tends to be fairly rigid, though it is gradually changing to a more agile structure. Hierarchy is very important in any large organization, especially those with employees scattered throughout the country and world. Though leaders wish to be accessible to lower-level employees, it's still fairly uncommon for communications to skip levels. Many teams, such as collections, customer service, and loan administration, are cross-functional teams that support TD Auto Finance as well as TD Bank. This layer of complexity is a recent strategic initiative designed to keep costs down by utilizing people resources to their fullest capabilities. As a result of these integrations, leaders are being frequently moved into new roles, making adaptability a key component of successful leadership. TD Auto Finance is based out of Michigan with 112 employees at headquarters. They also have satellite locations in Greenville, South Carolina, and Jacksonville, Florida. Andrew Stewart has been the CEO for the past 4 years. He maintains an executive leadership team of 12 people and is a member of this team. Throughout the day, a number of management concepts covered throughout our course became apparent. Most notably, a great example of market segmentation was presented during a meeting with the product and pricing teams. In the world of auto finance, FICO scores are utilized to determine creditworthiness. TD Auto Finance uses FICO scores to segment customers into tiers. These tiers ultimately determine if a customer can be approved for a loan and for how much and what interest rate. A recent strategic initiative was evolved to create a custom scorecard, which will enable the company to delve deeper than a single FICO score when assessing a customer's ability to repay. TD Auto Finance's actions in terms of market segmentation follow the segmentation strategy. Allows the company to capture incremental revenues by customizing its offerings to the needs of different groups of consumers, thus selling more in total. The custom scorecard has been in the works since 2017. Constant review and revision are ongoing to assess overall impact. Basically, whether a customer will tier up or tier down due to the scorecard analysis. Lenders must be especially careful when performing market segmentation. There is a great risk of discriminatory lending claims when segmenting based on FICO. To overcome this, the scorecard uses a proprietary formula which analyzes the customer's past repayment practices, as well as their income potential, available credit lines, homeownership status, and employment history. TD Auto Finance has consistently performed as a prime and super prime lender. It is the goal of the product and pricing teams to change this, allowing analysts to buy lower FICO loans while still mitigating the risk. Further market segmentation occurs in the program rates that are offered, varying by region. For example, the rate sheet that is used for customers in New England varies greatly from those in the Southwest. The practice of rate variance by region has caused controversy for auto lenders in the past. In 2018, the CFPB assessed a $1 billion fine against Wells Fargo because of its practice of administering a mandatory insurance penalty to high-risk auto loan consumers. Regulations on credit provision are forcing lenders to reframe their strategies for products, operations, business processes, systems, and controls. Auto finance companies need to focus on customer life cycle, decreasing bad debts, and compliance to regulatory requirements. This shift in the world of automotive finance will result in a significant limit on new market entrants. Companies wishing to enter the market will, most likely, find themselves on the peripheral of the core business. Captives and long-standing auto finance companies will continue to maintain the bulk of market share in that desirable near-prime and prime space. One of the most challenging concepts that I observed throughout the day was the need for Anne to prioritize and adapt. On a number of occasions, Anne would be in discussion or meeting, and a call would come in from the COO regarding a multi-million dollar deal that was in jeopardy. Anne would immediately change gears, refocusing completely on that issue. She explained to me that the deal might not be able to be salvaged due to a single miscommunication made by the CEO. In this situation, I could easily identify both sides of the issue and the best possible resolution. But leaders must set aside their ego to further the agenda and the best possible outcome for all parties. The most interesting concept I followed throughout the day involved that pilot program to limit in-person visits to non-supportive customers. This was an exceptional example of a company not wavering on efficiency due to a differentiated strategy. as we discussed in Chapter 5 of Strategic Management. Properly executed, a well-chosen, well-crafted business-level strategy can give a company a competitive advantage over actual and potential rivals. In this model, TD Auto Finance is not completely ignoring non-supportive customers, but instead is offering them a technological alternative to managing their business. While this may present competitors an opportunity to deepen their own relationships with these customers, TD Auto Finance has determined that the potential for increased efficiencies far outweighs the potential for lost business. As I near the end of my final courses in my degree program, I realized the overall impact my courses have had on me, both personally and professionally. It is not unusual for peers and leaders within my company to comment upon my improved communication style or my evolution as a valued leader in the organization. Of the courses I have taken, I found the most value in management leadership, business ethics, and gospel literature. In management leadership, we were tasked with writing a reflective journal each week. They included various situations where we identified things we had done right and wrong as leaders. I have found great value in this reflection, and it's an activity I have continued since that class. In 2017, I was awarded the company's highest honor and the Vision in Action Award of Distinction. I attribute that success in large part to the education I have received and the ability I now have to live my foundational true beliefs in an ethical and courageous manner. Upon graduation, it is my intention to continue my development through a professional development series called Everyday Leadership. Within this series, there are daily blogs, suggested readings, and an opportunity to share beliefs and thoughts in a non-threatening environment. Members of the group are selected and sponsored by a senior level executive who feel the candidate possesses attributes and skills desirable in a future executive. Ann Klein has asked to sponsor my continued education through this program and to serve as my mentor as my career progresses. Having spent the better part of the last 4.5 years learning, I have no wish to quit now. Thank you.